go. Hey, welcome to Sunrise Extra. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hi. Say hi, everybody. So we were just teasing up on the show that we're talking about the weirdest places that we've fallen asleep or we've tried to sleep in because I saw this article yesterday. Do you guys watch Vice News or Viceland?
I love Vice. Yeah.
They have incredible
no.
stuff.
Okay.
There's a channel on Comcast. I think it's like 15 or something like that. You should watch it. It's really cool. Anyway, they also have a magazine. They did this article in Japan about all the guys who work in corporate business in Japan work at minimum 60 hours a week.
60?
That's 12
60.
hours a day.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just trying to
Brutal.
keep up. They're like cogs in a wheel. They're freaking exhausted.
Right.
So they're leaving work and they're falling asleep. They go out to dinner or whatever afterwards, but they're falling asleep on the streets in
Jeez.
Tokyo.
It's sad.
Yeah, let's show some pictures right now. I know we have some pictures over here.
Normally, when I see someone sleep like that, it makes you chuckle. But when you hear that why they're falling asleep, being overworked like that, it's actually sad.
Yeah. So this guy who lives in Japan has taken over 2,000 of these photos and kind of tried to make them artistic. He took them maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago. So maybe he's
sleeping
hopefully
standing
these people,
up.
Yeah.
Wow.
But all these people, and I guess there's really low crime in Japan. So it's totally safe. Nobody gets their briefcases stolen.
Huh.
But
Safe
it kind of
until it's
got us
not.
thinking about, what is like the weirdest, I mean, we have a weird schedule on this shift where I feel like narcoleptic half the time. If I'm not going, I'm going to fall asleep.
You're going to hit a wall.
So, I mean, I can sleep on planes. I can sleep on trains when we went to Europe. A lot of places.
You fall asleep easily.
I can fall
then.
asleep, but it's not an attractive sleeping situation.
Yeah, no,
especially when you're like sitting
bet.
upright.
If
My
you're not
mouth
on
tends
your back,
to hang
yes,
open.
your gravity pulls your
So
jaw
on
down.
a plane, I'll put a blanket up over my head so my mouth isn't like hanging open,
funny.
and Drew.
Yes.
Well, actually, let's start with Brenda because Brenda needs to go.
Okay.
But
I've
I
got
was
an
asking you
interview
this.
that I'm working on. Yeah. Where's the weirdest place that I've fallen asleep? Oh,
Can you sleep anywhere?
This is bad. But I was super tired one time and I was at a stoplight and I think I literally, because it was late, I was coming back from somewhere and I think it was a microsecond. Like literally, I think I fell asleep for a microsecond. And then, I mean, nothing had moved and I thought, my gosh. But that was scary. I totally forgot about that until you just asked.
I've done that.
But tell us how, because Brenda and I have these conversations about how I really struggle to fall asleep and I have all these ways, sleeping masks and blackout shades.
Why do you have to do them all at the same time?
I do all these things like, I don't take a ton of sleeping pills, but sometimes a happy unisom will help my brain kind of calm down or meditate maybe. And I've got the shades and
blackout shades.
Earplugs. And Brenda was telling me you need nothing.
I know, because
Nothing.
I'm so tired, I think is what it is. I've got
tired
like
too,
big
but-
transom windows in the bedroom and they have little tiny white shears. It doesn't matter if it's midsummer and it's super bright.
can just-
When I lay down and my head hits the pillow. When my kids were little, they used to tuck me in. And I think before they left the room, I was asleep.
Wow.
My suggestion would be on Sunday night this weekend, stay up till about 10 o'clock. Okay, then wake up at 2. Is that what time you normally wake up, thereabouts? So then wake up at 2 on Monday, and you'll be very tired Monday night, I promise you. But if you're still not that tired, stay up until 10 o'clock on Monday night, and I promise you by Tuesday, Ashley, you will fall asleep without an issue.
Listen, I have 8-month-old twins. I am not not tired. I am exhausted. It's not because I'm not tired.
It's just like turning your
I have
brain
done
off.
that. I just cannot. My brain won't turn off, and it spins, and sometimes I get good sleep, but it's a struggle.
Yeah.
You know?
Drew, you're kind of famous for this.
Yeah, I have no problem shutting off the brain. In fact, the brain usually shuts off before the body goes down. Yeah, this
Let's go over
that's
Jay to
too
9
funny.
panel here. Show 9 panel
So-
because we have multiple
thank you.
pictures. This
Can I
is
explain
from,
some background?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, please.
So I worked with the same photographer here at KGW for about 13 years, and he would watch me fall asleep. Now, not really on the job. There's an hour break. We work a 9-hour shift.
I love
like
the
your lunch
sweatband.
break.
Thank you.
Lunch break.
We work 9-hour shifts here. We're told to get an hour break. Some of those hours I would spend like that, sleeping
You're
in
in
the
a mouth
vehicle.
open, dude.
Well, that's a super close up.
That's very
Does it have to be that close up? I feel a little bit violated. But yeah, I did. One day it was sunny, so I had to cover my eyes from the sun.
No.
But no, I mean, typically, listen, I don't take naps during the day. And when I get home at, say, 2 o'clock on the average, 1:30 or 2, our kids come home shortly thereafter. Then it's homework and it's off to practice, doctor's appointments. Today we have the eye appointment. Then we go dinner, and then we try to, then my wife comes home, try to have some kind of time together. Then so it's usually about 8:30 or 9 o'clock before I go to bed. and then it's 2 o'clock when we wake up. So if you
do
roll
that.
5 hours of sleep a few days in a row, you will do that.
Yeah.
You will pass out in the middle of the day somewhere.
Who's taking those pictures, though?
I'm telling you,
Steve.
his name is Steve Hanson.
Yeah.
And we
Long
would
time
just
KGW
troll
photographer.
you?
Yes.
Wait,
and
can
I'd
I-
wake up and go, huh, I got another one.
Okay, people are chiming in on this. We got Miss Odella on Instagram just now saying, I fell asleep in the middle of a conference and she started drooling, she said. I love that. On Facebook, let me show you guys on Facebook.
I've got one for you here from
Heidi
Facebook.
says,
yes, at a nightclub right next to the speaker.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, how tired are you
Was
at that
really
point?
just tired?
Right. We are, yeah, I should clarify. These are
Mel,
all
look
just
at this
falling
one.
asleep, not
I've fallen
passing out.
asleep at the drag strip watching drag cars go by. That is hilarious.
It's a loud area.
Joey says, sitting at work in front of 6 industrial cutting machines, it's so loud you have to yell to talk.
And yet he falls asleep. I like this. Hi, where's it at here? Jana says that she's currently trying to fall asleep, but obviously this is such compelling television, if you will, that you can't fall asleep during this. I get it.
Can't. Okay, we got some really good comments on this post. I'll show you guys. Okay, so Paul says, I fell asleep on a fishing charter and had a cup of coffee in my hand. I woke up to laughter because the people on the boat said as the boat dipped with the waves, so did my coffee, but I never spilled a drop. Yeah, Aaron says hello from Crossville, Tennessee. Hey, do you guys have my Facebook page? We have a bunch of good comments from folks on there. Okay, we'll pull it up. But I just thought this was funny. I mean, in light of, oh, there's my dog.
Hey, there's your
Scroll
daughter.
down,
She's
scroll
sniffing the
down.
flower, the dandelion.
She had yellow pollen all over her little nose yesterday after that. I love some of these. Tim says he fell asleep on the toilet at a friend's house, passed out, luckily with the door locked.
You know what? I've done that.
Ken fell asleep in the back of a 5-ton pickup. Gerard says he fell asleep on his ship. I am assuming he's in the Navy. I fell asleep in many different places, some authorized, some not so authorized. Gary, in a school bus traveling many times with high school sports teams in West Texas, 2 to 3 hours with my forehead on the seat in front of me. Oh, here is Brenda. This guy fell asleep driving. Thomas Golden, he fell asleep in the Vista Ridge Tunnel driving home from work. I woke up 5 hours later in front of my house with my foot on the brake.
What?
I quit one of my 5 jobs the next day.
Yeah, good move.
That's crazy.
Jeez.
Carol says those pictures are sad in Japan. Yes, they are. It's kind of depressing. Kathy, jet lag from a flight from Japan to Honolulu visiting family. Fell asleep on the beach in Waikiki and woke up with the worst sunburn of my life. And
I got a good story for you. But
oh,
I know
there's my
Brenda has
friend
to
Lee
go.
Anderson. He says he's seen this in Japan. Hundreds of men in suits sleeping in the streets in Tokyo.
All right.
That is so nuts.
I've got one for you, Nina. It just popped into my head. I didn't share this with you yesterday. But first, Brenda Braxton, I know you have to exit.
I do. I'm working on an interview with Kristen Severance that's coming up, and also a carpool. So I'm going to scoot. But look.
I'm in.
You have a
One
replacement.
leaves. Bye, you guys.
Yes.
Today's viewer question, is this an upgrade or a downgrade? Brenda
look?
leaves, Rod Hill steps in.
Oh, well, I refuse to comment.
Downgrade, but we'll take it. So,
Where's the weirdest place you've ever fallen
You know-
asleep or like tried to sleep?
I don't have an answer to that.
When
I
you were
can't
young Rod and young and
But
boisterous?
I'm the person that to this day, if I was tired, I could literally lay down in the middle of the Rose Parade and fall asleep. So I've never had an issue with that.
So you're okay.
I sleep well on the
You've
plane.
got narcolepsy,
I
then,
don't,
just like us.
Yeah, I don't really have an answer.
I have a story for you.
I don't have an answer.
Please.
Airport.
Airport.
10 and a half years ago, the boys were making a flight to Philadelphia. Their first time traveling on an airplane. They were about 7 months old.
First time to Philly?
First time, well, yeah, 7 months old. First time they got on a plane, and we happened to be going back
are
to Philadelphia
brave.
to see my mom and my stepdad and my
for you.
sister. So I remember we took like a late flight. My wife and I trying to figure this out. When will be the ideal time to fly with these crazy little boys?
Yeah.
We decided to take a late flight. Maybe they would sleep the whole way. Oh no! Or some of the way.
You know.
So it is about 8 o'clock at night at the airport, and a very quiet airport that night. And we're sitting there. I've got the 2 car seats because we're taking the car seats onto the plane right next to me. I'm here, both boys sleeping, car seats next to me. My wife says this: I'm going to run to the bathroom. Stay awake. Just give me 2 minutes.
All you have
Stay
to do.
awake. I'll be right back.
You have one job.
No problem. I don't know how many minutes passed, but the next thing I remember, I was looking at the back of my eyelids. So I said, oh my gosh, I better open these. I open my eyes. There are no boys next to me. There are no babies
my goodness.
next to me at the airport.
What about the car seats?
I try to be real calm about it. I look
Good
around.
question.
No car seats, babies gone.
Just gone.
I look around.
Wife gone.
And wife's not there either. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on, right? And
Your heart just...
A little bit. There was something in the back of my head that said, I know what happened here. I know I fell asleep. And I wasn't even worried about the kids being kidnapped. I knew what happened. My wife came by, took him, and is now trying to teach me a lesson.
You're probably more scared of me.
But I look over. We're like in I don't know, gate 8. I look over at gate 10. There's my wife with the car seats in her hands looking at me like, I'm going to kill you right now with this look.
You already landed at this point?
No.
No, I'm sorry. You haven't taken off yet.
We're at the airport. We're waiting for a flight. The boys are sitting next to me.
Oh, you're at the gate.
I love the sense of humor there.
Well, it's not a sense of humor, dude. She was pissed and trying to teach me, like, that could have been a real kidnapping situation, you idiot. Wake up. Be a dad. Be a man. Keep your eyes open. She still talks about that. This 10 years later, I still hear about it. Remember that time you fell asleep watching the babies at the airport?
Well, that is bad. I'm going to take her side on this.
It's not good.
I'm going to take your wife's side on this.
I know it's not good.
Dave on Facebook says he fell asleep in a phosphate mine in Montana, 7 miles underground, totally dark and quiet.
Well, nice and quiet. It seems like a great place to fall asleep.
Oh, our friend Pamela, she fell asleep on the toilet. I think I've done that before, too.
Actually, I've done that before.
Oh, my God. What is this called?
Having just a nice, relaxing time and it goes off.
Well, if you're like sick, never mind.
Yeah, there's a difference between passing out and falling asleep. Because in college, I did that.
No,
Oh, moving on.
That's why it's important to have a comfortable seat. Okay, moving on.
Yes.
Okay, so this is funny, and we can all relate because we all have kids. So where was the story, Jessica, that happened? So a guy...
Background, please. Jessica.
3-year-old, you know how your kids grab your phone and your
All
tablet,
the time.
iPad,
In
whatever,
fact, that's
and
why I have
touch
a new
all the
cover,
buttons.
'cause
Not
Yeah.
well trained.
So this kid typed in the wrong code into his dad's iPad so many times that it popped up with a message. Here, I'll show you.
Oh, okay, this is going to be good.
And it locked it for 25
oh, my goodness.
million minutes.
Oh, no.
That is what?
Okay.
20.
Oh, don't do the math.
25,536,000.
Evan Osnos tweeted this. So he
I'm gonna
had to
say
take it
Photoshop.
to the Apple store, and they had to totally restore the whole thing because his kid locked it so
but they
much.
got it working.
wow.
Yeah.
But, that's funny.
But till 2026.
Oh, my goodness.
How hilarious is that? Do your kids play? Well,
million
not
minutes?
yet.
Not yet, but
does
tell us
Patrick do that?
Patrick stories.
Yeah, he does. He grabs my phone all the time, and I know we're trying to watch the whole screen time thing now because he's just about 2, and I know doctors say no screen time before 2.
Yeah.
So he's 2 years old. I'm going to put you on the spot.
So he's 2 years old.
How does he grab the phone while you're not looking?
No, I mean.
Do you hand him the phone or
does.
not?
No, he will. He lunges for it and gets
if
it.
you have it in your hand.
And if you have not seen Patrick, he's got a grip that's like a death grip. So he gets what he wants unless we put it out of his reach.
I got your back, Drew.
Actually,
I got your back.
what has turned out to be even funnier, I think, is that he can now turn on the button to the TV, to the DirecTV box.
Oh, he knows
and
that?
he knows, and now it's a game.
Smarty
and not only is it a game, but he goes and he hits the button and he goes, Dada, and he points to the TV.
Oh, he wants
He
to
goes,
get her
Dada.
Yeah.
Well, because I guess it might be on in the morning for a few minutes while Catherine's getting breakfast ready and all, and so. But I'm like, Dada's in the room right next to you.
You
don't
gotta move
have
up.
Have you ever been
we're
on
in the
duty?
process of doing that.
You fall asleep, like our friend Drew. You wake up and Patrick's talking on the phone. He's got the TV on. He's got the stereo turned on.
No, but I'm sure that'll happen next week.
My daughter's locked my phone a couple times now, but I mean, not for an
for very
extended
long.
time. Yeah, and then you just kind
Not
of
25 million minutes.
But yeah, it's.
I wanted to do the math on that.
I do have a question about the screen time thing. They say babies shouldn't have screen time, obviously. But does that mean if your babies are in the room and I have the TV on when I'm making dinner and they're playing? Does that qualify? Is that
For
fine?
crying out loud,
I
that's fine.
overthink
It's been
it.
going on since
I know,
TV was
but
invented.
I get it, but
My goodness,
but
our
they talk
society's
about
gone
it.
crazy.
A cartoon, watching something on your phone, and what?
47 years. I just did some quick math.
5 million minutes.
47 years.
but I think
that
they're
guy's
right
phone's gonna
there.
be locked for a long time.
That wasn't quick
You gotta have
math.
the TV on in the background.
Yeah.
Calculationator.
I know.
Especially if it's something you're into that they're not.
Well, depending
so
on
watch
what
out
you're
for that.
into, of course.
Rod, with the
I'll tell you
I
what,
gotta go. I can't anymore.
I can blend the falling asleep with the TV and the kids. I'll tell you one time I was babysitting the kids. Another bad story, bad parenting moment.
Bad parenting moment.
Babysitting the kid, or watching the kids. Mia was out with the girls at night, and I decided they could watch Die Hard.
Ooh, good movie. Great movie.
Probably not appropriate exactly for
How
they was
For
about a year
3-year-old?
ago.
Good movie, though.
A year ago. They were 10 years old. It's not the best.
Sure.
It's okay, but some of the language is questionable.
Oh, well, that's
and
okay.
people die, Chris. Anyways, so bad parenting moment number one, but still I said, okay, we're going to go for it. I felt like they were mature enough to handle it. What they were not mature enough for was the movie that followed Die Hard on TV that night.
Oh, I remember the story.
I fall asleep during the end of Die Hard.
Was this Skinamax or HBO you were watching? What?
I fall asleep during the end of Die Hard. Along Came Polly. Remember that movie?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Came on next.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a scene though in the very beginning. There's a scene in the beginning of Along Came Polly
It's a little.
where the just married woman gets together with the guy that's providing
On the boat?
on the boat.
Yeah.
There's a sex scene.
Yeah.
It happened in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
That's right, check
I fell
out.
asleep. I wake up. We're way into Along Came Polly.
No.
Mia wakes me up. She's like, I can't believe the boys are still up. I'm putting them to bed. She comes down the stairs and just goes nuts on me because the boys walked upstairs and said, "We just saw sex.
Dad, let us watch
We
it."
just saw
What does Mia
sex on
still
TV."
like about you after at this point? It's all, I mean,
Still
do you
married
do
to you.
things
wow.
right? I hope.
I'm always
sure you
home for
do.
dinner. I'm always home for dinner.
Do you cook dinner?
Sometimes.
And he's,
Not as much as she does.
and he's funny. He's funny.
No, she doesn't even think I'm that funny. She probably thinks, a lot of people do. She doesn't, which is the weird thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel sad.
You know what it is? She just doesn't like to give up on things, my wife,
Well,
and she's
she's
not
just
giving up on me.
She's just okay, so in the news today, there was that hilarious story from Washington County, rural Washington
Oh,
County.
yeah.
Of these two guys, they were house sitting for one of their nephews, and so they went out to walk the guy's dog. They came back and they heard some rustling in the house. They heard the bathroom door slam, and they're like, "Oh my God, there's a burglar in the house." So they call 911. The cops get there. They get their guns drawn out. They're yelling at this burglar in the bathroom to come out. They hear all this crashing around. They think the guy's trying to get out the window. So they got their guns drawn. They think he's trying to get out the window. They bust through the door, and in comes, well, not in comes, inside was a Roomba vacuum. So they put this hilarious post on Twitter from Washington County Sheriff's Office, captured. The burglary suspect was a Roomba, and it was just kind of pounding against the shower door. How embarrassed would you guys feel?
But it was someone who was house sitting, is that right?
so they
didn't
wouldn't
know.
know.
I mean, I get scared in my own house, and I know what sort of equipment and dogs and whatever. I mean, and I still get spooked, so I can totally relate to that.
I feel bad for
You know.
them.
I don't know if I jumped to that conclusion right away. I'm thinking like maybe an animal got into that.
Well,
like,
yeah.
some
I mean,
kind
I
of
wouldn't call
critter.
911 right away.
Right.
But
But you're in a house that you're not familiar
Sure.
with.
Yeah,
I get
like
it.
trying to, you're like, I don't want their stuff to get stolen.
Right.
I don't know who's
Well,
in there.
that's fine.
I would have at least gone up to the door and done I know Kung Fu and karate. I would have done that bit first. Kung Fu. Then I would have called the police.
You're the first person I would burglarize now.
Karate. He knows karate.
Kung Fu.
Is that not a thing?
No, it is. It's
It
good.
is,
It's a
but
good thing.
the
It's a
stuff
good
that
thing.
comes out of your mouth is just amazing.
Okay, next topic. So we were talking about the Twitter CEO. He's a 42-year-old billionaire. He also owns that Square,
Oh, yeah,
payments
that Square app.
thing. So he tweeted the other day, or he was interviewed about like his wellness habits, and they always kind of talk to those Warren Buffett and like all these rich people of like, what do they do to make them successful? So he has some cool ones, habits that he does, and some super weird ones.
Wellness habits.
Yeah, so he starts every day with an ice cold bath. He
Ice
says it
cold
kind of
bath.
clears his mind.
I'll stay poor.
At
Thank
night,
you.
he goes into the sauna. He meditates twice a day. He walks to work. He has a standing desk, all fairly normal. Where it gets weird is he only eats one meal a day at dinner between 6 p.m.
Come on now.
I'm out.
and 9 p.m.
No.
I'm
Can you
poor.
guys only
PM?
eat one time a
That's not
day?
Yusake doesn't even grab an apple before then? I
No,
don't believe
nothing.
That's
that.
not productive.
Yeah.
Your brain
not
can't
healthy.
function like that.
Yeah, so
No.
he's
Yeah.
getting a lot of backlash from doctors. who
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that
this
seems a little
is
nuts.
not the- Okay, the other thing.
What?
He doesn't eat at all on the
What
weekends.
the hell kind of life is this?
Yeah, this is horrible.
If this
So
is being
he
rich,
said-
I want to
yeah,
stay poor.
What is this?
Yes,
he won't
I
have
agree.
dinner on Friday. I won't have dinner or any meal on Saturday. The first time I'll eat will be Sunday evening.
Oh, no.
And I've done that 3 times now where I do an extended fast where I'm just drinking water.
What's the point, Nina?
That's bizarre.
Why is he doing that?
I don't know.
First time I did that.
I don't. This guy's
I'm trying to
weird.
read quickly.
Takes me back to those happy crew meal free days at McDonald's where you get free quarter cheese every
That's
time
ridiculous. I'm walking up to the screen to read this.
All
That
I
makes no
do
sense.
like all day is eat and then
think about eating.
like think about what we're gonna do to fill the time between when we eat next.
He does realize he is rich enough to eat at the finest restaurants in the world whenever he wants. He does realize this.
He's claiming
Right?
that when he fasts for long times, that time slows down. And I guess that's a good thing. Like, you know, we always complain about like things are moving
It
too
would
fast.
slow down because you just be like,
Yeah, the whole time I'd be
You're
spending my
literally
my minutes.
starving.
Yeah, he's
That's weird.
hallucinating. So,
That's very
I don't
strange.
know.
Okay.
All right, you guys.
Is that it?
I'm glad I'm not a
I think we're
42-year-old
gonna-
billionaire
yeah.
then.
Me too.
Because I don't like the idea of a cold bath or starving myself. Both
Yeah, I don't
awful
like that either.
ideas.
I'd rather go to McDonald's and get my free quarter
What was
pounder
the
of cheese.
motivation for that, by the way?
Just like how a
he's
42-year-old
successful.
billionaire keeps up with his wellness habits. Some of the
Yeah.
things he does that he claims are helping him be successful in life.
We're saying we would rather be poor.
So let me
And unsuccessful.
then take
Which
a
we
cold
are.
bath and not eat. Yeah.
Rod, tell us about your T-shirt.
My
real quick.
T-shirt. So Chehalem Elementary. This is in
Mustangs?
Beaverton. You know, it's embarrassing. I don't know. I opened up the T-shirt before I went on the air today, and we didn't talk about their mascot yesterday when I was there. But it was a third grade. It's about
Google
100
that.
kids, and thank you, Mr. McGinnis. And we talked weather, and they were really a very attentive, great group, lots of questions. You know, I always start off talking about the water cycle because that's one of the building blocks of weather in general, and they usually start learning it in second, third grade. And we went through that, evaporation, condensation, and then we spent some time talking about how would our weather be different if we weren't next to the Pacific Ocean, or how would our weather be different if we could take a bulldozer and just flatten the Cascades.
Okay.
And then we get into talking about different theories about how our weather would be different if we didn't have these unique topography elements around us, such as the ocean and the gorge and the Cascades and the Coast Range. So I had a great time. They were really wonderful.
It was a cute class.
Did
Sorry.
you develop this this weather discussion for like third and fourth grade classes? These are your topics. You came up with
Yeah,
this
I feel
plan.
like this
This is my senior class at the University of Missouri.
Pretty good.
Public education.
Good for you,
No,
man.
just kidding.
Did you find it, Chris?
He took one credit. Took one credit. I didn't
find
because I
it. I
kept
can't
getting.
find it.
Yeah, it's because it's elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, duh.
Third grader.
Yes.
Chehalem, Mustangs, ponies.
Chehalem.
Honestly, when you asked him about his
Elementary.
T-shirt, I thought you wanted to know if it was like a cotton blend or 100% cotton.
Oh
That's
my
not what you were
gosh.
asking.
It's a nice
It
T-shirt.
is nice. It
It's a little
feels
big
nice.
on you, but
Easy, big
Should we
guy.
stop that?
Yes.
all right, Nina,
All
thank
right,
you.
See ya. All right, you guys. Rod, when you're
Bye,
ready, call
guys.
me into the newsroom.
Okay, all right.
Let's go in here and we're as we walk. We are going to talk about. We had a viewer voice poll on this morning, asking that. Oh, hold on. Asking, should government agencies be able to make like immunizations mandatory? Because obviously here in Clark County in the Northwest, we've had all those cases of measles. Well, in New York and New Jersey, they have lots of cases of it as well, and it's getting really bad there. That they have tried to do everything they could. They told kids that if you're unvaccinated, you're not allowed in public places. That didn't work. They've tried to prevent those unvaccinated kids from showing up at school. They showed up anyway. Now they're trying a last-ditch resort move to say government agencies should be able to make vaccinations mandatory. What do you guys think? That's a lot of Big Brother coming in. Also, vaccinations have been proven to save lives. So we're getting the numbers up for you right now. 89% of you say, yeah, hello, should government agencies be able to make vaccinations mandatory? 89% of you say yes, they should be able to make them mandatory. So that could be a question for our area. Our measles cases have, kind of flatlined and luckily really kind of slowed down. So that is the good news.
What do you think about that, by the way? What's your opinion?
I'm not allowed to have an opinion.
You're not
Rob.
allowed. See, the weatherman can have an opinion, which is great.
Well,
I think it's easy to come out of the gate and go yes, because it's obviously, I'm going to put it in the good idea category. But then part of me backs
But
up
should it
and
be
thinks,
mandatory?
well, that's it. Then I back up and I
we're
think,
making
but
so
wait a
many
minute.
laws.
Do you want a government that has that type of power over you?
Right.
But is it a good idea for everybody to be
the
vaccinated?
vast
What I've
majority,
taught, yes.
At least in Oregon and Washington, I think it's like at least 90% or 89% of the population does have your immunizations.
Yeah. And it's
So
become
that is called herd immunity, that we have enough people around that you won't spread
Yeah.
it. But you see those cases of people that do.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, weather.
We are at Wednesday. We're
Yes.
talking about Friday really quick. Rod on the Road. You're going to be
Yes.
headed to the Wooden Bridge Tulip Festival.
Wooden Bridge?
Wooden
Wooden shoe.
shoe. The shoe. And Friday is supposed to be like one of our nicest days.
Should be nice in the morning.
Good day.
I mean, looking at it right now, not a 0% chance of rain, but we understand the tulips out there are pretty much hitting their peak right now.
Yeah.
I've been out there with my family several times. I've never been out there early in the morning.
Yeah.
But it should be a great time.
It's beautiful.
That's gonna be fun.
I haven't never been there. I've only seen photos, and so it's going to be great. You have a cute
I have a
little thing
question.
from your school group.
So again, getting back to my Chehalem Elementary and Beaverton school
Yeah.
group yesterday, the third graders, I always say, any questions at the end? And this one young boy stands up. He had this sign. He goes, "Hey, Mr. Hill, what kind of shorts do clouds wear?" Okay, I'm terrible at playing these games. My daughter always gives me these little jokes. But the answer is pretty obvious. The answer is thunderwear.
I love the little drawing.
I thought that was
How
super
cute.
cute.
Is that?
I thought that was super
Aw.
cute. All right, well, today it's dry, so real quick, if you are just getting your day going, we think rain starts to move in around lunchtime for Portland, and then it's pretty wet all the way through Thursday, and I'm told that we are running out of time. Friday still looks good, as you mentioned, Nina, about 62 on Friday.
All right, you guys, that does it for Sunrise Extra. Thanks for playing along with us. We're going to be asking you fun questions on Facebook and stuff, so chime in, let us know your opinion. This is just where we have fun after the show. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Bye.